this is actually an area where I very much diverge from other socialists.
Doubt it. You only diverge when it's politically popular to do so. Throw them on a tanky podcast and you're just as much a tanky as the rest of them. Don't ever trust a lefty. Don't ever trust a lefty when they tell you they're more liberal than the other guys. Or they'd ever, just like trusting a crypto or crypto fascist when they say, oh no, like we'd respect other people. It's the exact same type of thing. The exact same type of thing.
I would say, or even more orthodox Marxists, that I believe the neoliberal mechanisms of control, specifically, it's just
the
how do I
boogeyman.
describe it? Free market. Markets are better than
Free market. Neoliberal is free market. I think neoliberalism implies a certain type of disdain for especially far lefty movements. I think it implies a certain type of globalist capitalist agenda. So things like the World Economic Forum, the International Monetary Fund, a particularly hawkish view of foreign policy. I think this is what neoliberalism implies. I don't think neoliberalism is just markets. That's capitalism, but
okay.
Than the government at dealing with everything.
Okay.
So I think that there is two different, as reductive as possible, there's two different types of control. Control is always going to happen. This is what the state is there to do, right? Under liberal capitalist democracies in the West, you have a neoliberal mechanism of control that dulls the masses through commodities, gives you the false notion of choice. You feel like you have 32 different brands of Oreos, even though they're like owned by 3 companies that price fix.
that's
right?
neoliberalism is when all the Oreos are owned by 3 companies. Is that neoliberalism? Neoliberalism is when all the ice cream flavors are all at Baskin Robbins.
They basically control all matter of commodities, and those markets are completely captured. But
Captured? What do you mean by captured?
there's this idea that there are, this endless, boundless amount of choices that you can choose from. On the other side, the more authoritarian mechanisms of control, which have existed
What's your opinion?
I like the neoliberal one. I think that even in a socialist state, you should still very much give the people the false notion of choice and make it feel like they have a say in the process while doing the bidding of. I mean, it's a pretty cynical worldview, but I think that that's what states are supposed to do.
Let me ask you this.
And that will create a structure where there are significantly less people who are like, I hate the system right now. I don't feel happy. I don't feel good in the system that I exist under. So I should, do counter-revolutionary capitalist reforms.
Well, and likewise, I don't think there's that many people in Sweden or Norway who are saying, no, we need to move to a pure socialist because everybody there is provided for. I don't think there's a large. I'm speaking out of
No,
turn
you're
here.
absolutely right. You're actually 100% correct.
So like
some Orthodox Marxists actually hate the welfare state for this reason because the.
Why does Ethan tweak out so much? I believe that Ethan has Tourette's, so that's why you kind of see him make like weird jerking motions and sometimes, as that's part of his Tourette's syndrome.
Welfare state is a continuation of capitalism by offering certain amenities.
Seems like
the liberal capitalism has thrived and has created a structure where like the inherent contradictions that exist under capitalism that I think everyone would agree with, including yourself. Those inherent contradictions become a little bit more muddied, and they never end up getting to a point where they converge and capitalism erodes into some socialist formation.
Let me be, I guess, more specific. If you're in a socialist country, is there one party or multiple parties?
It depends. I mean,
hey, let's look at Vietnam.
Because one party.
Hey, let's look at China. Oh, it depends. Imagine having to say it depends. In capitalism and neoliberal societies, you're given a false choice when all the ice cream manufacturers are really ran by 3 ice cream makers. Oh, how many political parties do you get in a socialist system?
Party's scary, right? Can we agree on that? A one-party system is not a good system.
I think you and I would agree that we...
No. I'm just asking you. I don't care about the United States.
I think that there are different forms of governance, and the United States...
God, he's such a weasel. Does his audience see him weaseling? I think one party would be bad. Well, there are different forms of governance.
States is not that different.
I don't care about the United States. I just want to talk about a socialist
I think
country.
that no matter what happens, the state does what the state is supposed to do. You can either...
What a non-answer.
do it at the behest of your citizens because you genuinely, earnestly believe that like that is the best possible way of developing a society, or you do it at the behest of capital owners and capitalism.
So you're saying you don't think it matters if there's one party or...
I don't think it matters as far as I care about direct democratic participation in local in local
one-party systems with socialism.
How can you answer that way? Imagine saying, because the whole center point for the whole like quasi wannabe democratic cuck bull is that, well, democracy, what is democracy in the workplace? Now, after complaining that there are only 3 different Oreo makers, now you're going to complain that, or now you're going to make the claim that it doesn't matter how many political parties exist?
More communism has pretty much always been a catastrophe,
yeah,
a humanitarian disaster.
No, I agree with that.
There's just so much risk in having one party.
I agree with that. I think that a multi-party system is obviously going to be better.
Oh, now he says it. A minute or two after bullying from Ethan, he finally says it. Okay.
Point is that it doesn't even matter if you have a parliament. It doesn't even matter if you have a multi-party system. The changes that are being made in one direction or the other are oftentimes incredibly marginal.
Yeah, that's how systems work, by marginal incremental change. Welcome to every parliamentary, congressional, government thing ever. Yeah, that's for stability. That's what you kind of need, incremental change. No country would work if everything was dramatically changing every 2 months.
And the differences are not born out of like, the party disagreements. The differences are born out of like genuine material conflict, like even including like the Civil War. It's never like the kindness of people's or like one party of individuals being like, we are kind, we want to do good things, and the other side is bad.
Because you're not supposed to be kind and doing good things. You're supposed to be representing your constituents. Congress and Parliament and executive leadership, it's not about kindness. It's about doing what the people that voted for you want.
And they want to do bad things.
So what I want to say was this then.
But
if you're in a socialist country with multiple parties, and one of the parties is a capitalist party, which would surely exist, what would you do if that party started gaining momentum? And it was clearly like people...
Oh my God, Ethan is asking such a question. You them all! Say it! You them all! You everybody! That's what the leftists do. That's what Mao did. That's what they did after the Bolshevik Revolution to other lefties. That's what you do in a leftist country. When you take over, you all the other people. That's what happens.
Wanted that.
That's what they did when they took power. When they were working with the lefties, they killed the lefties there. Now they weren't lefty, but like, yeah, when you are an illiberal party, when you don't believe in liberalism and you gain power, the first thing you do is you everybody else that opposes you or has any actual parliamentary threat to you, parliamentary, democratic, whatever kind of threat, whatever governmental threat.
Route. They wanted that route. Yeah. So what do you do?
I think I would do what America has done. Not that.
Oh my God, he's such a. How can you be this tall and eat that much chicken and be such a little? He's actually such a pussy. Can we get like some 4'8" midget here that Hasan can press so he can get some of his confidence back? God, he's such a weak-willed individual. Oh my God. Say it with your chest. Holy shit.
To the same degree. Not to the same degree as like McCarthyist trials or anything like that.
So you would trial them? You'd convict them of crimes? You bring up McCarthyism, the guy that hunted down everybody for communism? Does Ethan know the reference of what you're saying right now?
But I would offer additional amenities to ensure that people are comfortable and happy, because I feel like
but what do you do if they're like, nah, that we're doing capitalism?
Yes.
Well, if everything is given to you, at that point, if every single thing is given to you, if all of your problems are solved, which I think we can both agree is not under capitalism, it has not happened.
No.
If all of those problems have been solved, then there is no need for conflict of that regard.
But they're saying, no, we want to do, because they're like, yo, this is a free country, right? Well, we want to do capitalism. Yeah. We think the market should regulate the prices and shit. Like, we don't think the workplace should be socialized.
Okay, that's a great question.
And what about
you have to ask why though at that point?
Because, oh my God,
well,
he won't
never
answer.
can be explained by why anyway.
Hassan won't answer the question.
People are gonna be dumb. You're right.
It's like you don't. It's just gonna exist.
Hassan won't answer because the question is, you would kill them. Just say it. That's what you would do. You would kill people who are opposing you in your illiberal regime. If liberals come up and you're illiberal, you would kill them. That's what you do.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.